Hello, I'm now going to explain how to have neighbours. Neighbours are the closest other people can get to you without having their clothes in your laundry basket. The ideal neighbours to have are ones that you don't see, hear or smell. Neighbours from hell are ones that you see, hear and smell far more than you want to. There are also the dangerous kind of neighbour you get on so well with that you end up swapping partners with them and having to move house in order to get away from the neighbours that you used to be married to. There are generally only two chances to meet your neighbours. The first is when you move in, the second is when they move in. That's why there's a lot to be said for moving at night. The perfect balance is knowing the name of your neighbour but nothing else about them. The ideal conversation with a neighbour is "Morning Paul, lovely morning," especially if the name is Paul. Over the past century, the average height for a neighbour has grown by 6 inches. Fences haven't grown during this period, and it's often the case that your neighbours can see every inch of your garden just by standing up. An Englishman's home is his castle, and his fences are his outer defences. Planting leilandi on the boundary with your neighbour is a formal horticultural declaration that you never intend to exchange a civil word with them ever again. Neighbours used to be the people from whom you borrowed a cup of sugar. This was actually as offensive as planting leilandi because a cup represented the entire family sugar ration for a month. In city apartments, you can have neighbours above and below you. A quick way to hate them is if you have to listen to their television and they don't even watch the same programmes as you. The rural equivalent of this is if someone's cow is in your field and it's not even the same sort of cow that you keep. Some people get locked into a suburban addiction called keeping up with the neighbours. This is because people who live in identical houses like to differentiate themselves by expensive accessorisation. Often this is achieved by cars in the drive itself, and the sophistication of the garage opening device. Now, I used to know somebody who got caught out that way because he had a heart condition. He had a Japanese pacemaker fitted, and every time he farted, his garage door opened. Now, when buying a house, you allow an extra 10% on the mortgage for keeping up with the Joneses. If you are the Joneses, then allow an extra 20%. There is normally one position in your house from which you can see your neighbours doing things in their house. This can be the source of illicit pleasure until you realise that there's also the very same position in their house from which they can see what you're doing in your house. Go and borrow a cup of sugar and check it out for yourself.